Jai Rup Sanatan Bhakta Vinaya Shri Jiva Gopal Bhakta Dasya. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram. So first of all, I have my Shastra pronouns. Lord Spirit of our spiritual masters. Tlai Shiva Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Maharaj Shri Tlai Shiva Bhaktivedanta Shri Om Krishna Maharaj Shri all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis present today. So very auspicious tithis are appearing for the next 3-4 days. Tomorrow is the disappearance day of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Ramananda Pandit. And the day after is Undija Mandir Maharaj. And after that, Jagannath Dev is Bhaktiyatra. The day of 20. It's very auspicious tithis. So, here in this race of the harmonist, Gurudev has given a very nice explanation of Sri Gadadhar Tattva. Because we see that Bhaktivinoda Thakur disappeared on the same day as Gadadhar Pandit. So, what does it say in the Pranam Mantra of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur? What is the Pranam Mantra, Maharaj? So here we see he is called Gaur Shakti Sarupaya, the embodiment, the manifestation of this Gaur Shakti. Who is this Gaur Shakti? It's Gadadhar Pandit himself, Srimati Radhika herself. Because when Krishna wanted to descend to this world, because Krishna wanted to know the moods of the gopis' love and affection, because he was thinking that Radharani, when I see the clouds, when Radharani sees the clouds, she becomes mad in separation from me. Why? Because the clouds have the complexion as Krishna, the same complexion as him. So then Radharani, she looks at the clouds and she starts addressing the clouds as though they were Krishna himself. And when Radharani sees the tamal tree, she wants to embrace the tamal tree, thinking, oh, this tree is the same as Krishna himself. So this way, Krishna is thinking that when I see the Kadamba tree, because in Vrindavan, the two main trees are Tamal and Kadamba. The Tamal tree has the same complexion as Sri Krishna, and the Kadamba tree has the same complexion as that of Srimati Radhika. So when Srimati Radhika sees the Tamal tree, she becomes very much absorbed in thinking about Krishna. And when Krishna sees the Kadamba tree, which has the same complexion as Srimati Radhika, he becomes very much absorbed in thinking about Srimati Radhika. But here you see, in separation from Krishna, when Srimati Radhika looks at the Tamal tree, she embraces that tree, thinking that's Krishna himself. And she becomes mad in separation. Divya Unmad. But Krishna, he doesn't become mad upon seeing the Kadamba tree. The Kadamba tree reminds him of Srimati Radhika, but he does not become mad seeing. Similarly, when Krishna looks at something which reminds him of Srimati Radhika, he doesn't become mad. He gets some feelings, there's some upsurge of some feelings, but he can contain himself. So similarly here, Krishna is thinking that there are some qualities in me that only Srimati Radhika nourishes, that even I cannot nourish myself. So therefore, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kitrisho Manayima Sadhyo Yanakudha Madhurima Kitrisho Madiya Saukam Chasya Madhurima Kitrisho Vedilova Tad Bhavadya Savajani Sachigarbo Sindhu Harindu. So therefore, Krishna wanted to know the Pranay Mahima, the glories of Srimati Radhika's Pranay. What is the meaning of Pranay? Pranay means oneness, intimacy. In Pranay, there is so much oneness that there is no shyness whatsoever. That Radha and Krishna, they become so absorbed in thinking about each other that they even forget who they are. Krishna forgets he is Krishna and Radharani forgets she is Radharani. Now they are only totally absorbed in loving each other. This is called Pranay Bhav. Such oneness of heart. Like we see in the stages of Prem, there is Prem, and there is Sneha, and there is Man, and there is Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Rood, Adhirood, Modan, Madan. So this Madanakya Mahabhav is only found in Srimati Radhika and no one else. Like we say, one feature of this Mahabhav is called Prem Vaichitya. Prem Vaichitya means Srimati Radhika is directly in the presence of Krishna. But still she feels that Krishna is not there. Like we see in Prem Sarovar, Radharani is lying on the lap of Krishna, but still in separation from Krishna, she starts calling out, where are you, where are you? And Krishna is thinking that her head is on my lap, and Radharani is resting on my lap, and still she feels that I am not here. So Krishna is thinking, what is this prem? I cannot understand. What is the nature of this prem? That although I am in her direct presence, still she feels she is not with me, that I have gone somewhere else. So therefore he is thinking about all these different reasons that he cannot even understand. Like sometimes you see, Krishna, he knows how to sing, but still when Radharani starts singing, and Krishna becomes so enchanted by her singing, becomes controlled by her singing. Sometimes Krishna is playing on his flute, and Radharani takes the flute away from Krishna and she starts playing on the flute. Better than even Krishna. And then Krishna, he becomes absorbed. And he can just say, Radharani has such good qualities, even greater than mine. But still there's something in me that makes Radharani go mad. What is that? That is called Pranay Mahima. So therefore, he descended as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to relish these sentiments of Srimati Radhika. What are these moods I wish to relish? And he appeared here. So then Radharani was thinking, alright, if you will come, then I will cover you with my complexion. Because Krishna, he told Radharani that when I descend to this world, I'll appear with all your moods. Then Radharani said, alright, you can appear with all my moods. But still, you cannot bear to relish my moods. Radharani was thinking, how can you experience this Madanakya Mahabhava of mine? Impossible. And sometimes if you have to relish these moods, you will have to start rolling on the ground, tumbling in the dust. And you may even hurt yourself. So Radharani said, alright, if you will come with my moods, then you'll also have to come with my Angakanti. What is the meaning of Angakanti? Is the complexion for body. So Radharani also gave her complexion. Therefore it is said, Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Who is Mahaprabhu? He is Krishna Swarup, he is Krishna himself, but who's come with Radha Bhav and this Dyuti, this complexion of Srimati Radhika. Therefore he is golden complexion. And at the same time, Srimati Radhika was thinking that when you descend in this mood, I will also be there. And I will also be there to examine you. To see how you are playing my part. Like in a drama, if someone is playing someone else's part, that person is also sitting in the audience. And he is also looking, how is that person playing my part? Now, how is he playing my part? So the same way here also, Radharani is looking, how is Krishna playing my part? So therefore Krishna, he fell at the feet of Srimati Radhika and he begged her that kindly give me your moods, kindly give me your complexion, and only then I will come. And then he descended in this world as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Galadhar Pandit, Srimati Radhika is always examining Krishna. He is always examining, how is he playing my part? Is he playing my part nicely or not? And sometimes she even correct Krishna. Like after Mahaprabhu had come from this place, Gaya, after Mahaprabhu was initiated by Ishwar Puripad in Gaya, when he came back, he was no longer Nimai Pandit. He was Bhavuk Nimai. Now he was only absorbed in thinking about this Prema Bhakti and he was only rolling in the ground. Now he didn't care about his studies, he didn't care about teaching other students, nothing. Like just yesterday I was reading this Ashtakam called Sachinandan Vijayastakam by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. There in Chakravarti Thakur is describing how Mahaprabhu is even sometimes chastising his students. Saying, why are you only learning these dhatus in Sanskrit? In Sanskrit grammar, dhatu means verb. Why are you only reading these verbs? Don't read these verbs. Rather, always utter Krishna's names. And even when you teach them these alphabets, in Sanskrit they are called Varnamala. It's ABCD. They are called R-E-E. So he said, even when you learn this Varnamala, these consonants, verbs, whatsoever, vowels, always remember Krishna's names. They say, Mahaprabhu, even when he's teaching his students, he's not concerned about teaching them grammar anymore. He's only thinking, how can I remind them of Krishna? How can I remind them of his name, glories, pastimes, qualities? He's only thinking about this. So then sometimes Mahaprabhu, he would go to Suklambar Brahmachari's house. Suklambar Brahmachari was a very intimate devotee of Mahaprabhu. So Suklambar Brahmachari, when he was staying in Mayapur, one day Mahaprabhu, he was reciting this verse from the Bhagavatam. Very wonderful verse describing the beauty of Krishna. Parhapiram nadarvapu karnayo karnikaram Randhan venu radaya Sudayan Purayan Gopavrinde Randhan venu radaya Sudaya Pura Gopavrinde. There it said that he's filling the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips as he's entering the forest of Vrindavan. So this is the gopis are envisioning this pastime of Krishna entering the forest with all his cows and calves. This is called Venugit. So when Mahaprabhu was reciting this verse, then Gadadhar Pandit was also there behind, and he was also hiding. And then Gadadhar Pandit, he corrected Mahaprabhu. No, when you're reciting this verse, recite it in such and such way. And you're reciting it, you should recite it in a mood of separation. Because when Mahaprabhu was reciting this verse, he was reciting it in a mode of meeting. But Gadadhar Pandit is saying, no, this verse is actually in a mood of separation. Because Srimati Radhika and all the gopis are reciting this verse in a mood of Purvarag. So what is Purvarag? Means this mood that is present prior to meeting, this mood of separation. Like Srimati Radhika and the gopis, when Krishna goes cowherding, they are feeling so much separation. And that separation is called Purvarag. So in that state of Purvarag, Radharani is uttering this verse. So Gadadhar Pandit is teaching Mahaprabhu that he must utter this verse in the same sense as how I do. Don't add any speculation to it. And Mahaprabhu is listening to Gadadhar Pandit. Like this other verse also, no? This Tava Kadamritam Tapta Jivanam Kabibiriditam Kalmashabham Shavana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvikrinantiye Bhuvidavajana. Here also, this verse can be explained in so many ways. Like when Mahaprabhu would recite this verse, he will say, Tava Katam Ritam Tapta Jivanam. He will say that your Katha is Amrit, is nectar, and gives life. Uttapta Jivanam. Tapta means what? Means for one who is scorched by these threefold miseries. Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, Adidevi. For one who is scorched by these miseries, this Harikatha is like nectar. Tava Katamritam, Tapta Jivanam. Kavi Biriditam Kalmashapaham. And when the Kavis, when the Rasik Vaishnavas sing of these qualities, pastimes of Krishna, then Kalmashapaham, whatever Kalmash is present in our hearts, no? All those impurities go away by listening to Krishna's Katha. Srinvatam Sabrata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Vedasta Abhadrani Vidunoti Surutsatam. Whatever abhadra is within our hearts, all goes away. Bhuvikrinantiye Bhuridajana. And such people who describe these pastimes of Krishna, they are Bhuridajana. Bhurida means what? Means very, very generous, very magnanimous, such personalities. So this is one mood. But this mood is expressed by the gopis when they are meeting Krishna. Here you have to understand. When the gopis are meeting Krishna, then they will say this verse, But then Radharani is saying, when we are separated from you, like when you go to Mathura, Dwaraka, when you go here and there, then that same Leelas, Tava Katam Mritam. It is no longer Amrit, it is Mrita. It is like poison. Your Harikatha becomes like poison for us then. We cannot even bear to listen to your Harikatha when we are in separation from you. When Krishna met the gopis at Kurukshetra, Krishna told the gopis that you always remember me and I am always with you. Means, when you are separated from me, keep remembering me, keep meditating on me, and know that I am always with you. Then the gopis told Krishna, what to speak of meditating on you? We want to forget you. You are telling us to meditate on you, but we want to forget you. And you are telling us to meditate. What kind of instructions are you giving? The thing is, we don't want to remember you, but still, because we are so attached to you, because our life is, because our lives are with you, what can we do? We are helpless. We cannot stop thinking about you, we cannot stop talking about you. Anything we do is only centered around you. So similarly here the gopis are saying, Tava katam mritam uttapta jivanam, means this poison is always burning us from within. This poison. So what can we do? The gopis are saying, Radharani is saying. And kavi viriditam kalmashapaham. And such kavis, such Vaishnavas who describe these pastimes of yours, they are actually great killers. They're saying. They're not even, how can you call them very generous, magnanimous? They're actually great killers. Why? Because when they speak this Harikatha, what happens? Automatically people then become very detached. They'll leave home. And when they leave home, what happens? They'll make their parents cry. They'll make their wives cry, their husbands cry, their children cry. They'll make everyone in the family cry. And then they'll come to Vrindavan, or they'll go to Jagannath Puri, Mayapur, and they'll become like street beggars. And what do they do as mendicants, as street beggars? They go house to house and they do madhukari. They're like birds with no nests. They're only going here and there, wandering here and there. So therefore, such sadhus who speak of this Harikatha, what do? They keep one book underneath their arms and they say, oh, listen to this Harikatha. There is no need for you to pay any money. There is no need to even give any amount of money. Just sit here and listen with greed. So such sadhus are actually not generous, they're great. They're very full of hatred. So this way Radharani is speaking such words in separation from Krishna. So Gadadhar Pandit, when he speaks this verse in this way, then Mahaprabhu, he gets like more and more realizations within his heart. Because who is Mahaprabhu? Mahaprabhu is Vishay Tattva. As Vishay Tattva, he is actually the object. He is he receives this love and affection. But he is not the abode of love and affection. He is not Ashraya Tattva. Because the Bhakta, he knows how to serve Bhagavan. Bhagavan does not know how to serve himself. No. Sugar is very sweet. But can sugar taste itself? No. Sugar is very sweet, chini. But can it taste its sweetness? No. Only someone else takes that sugar and puts it inside his mouth. Then he realizes how sweet it is. And how can he realize how sweet it is? It's not possible. So similarly, Mahaprabhu, he cannot realize these different aspects of prem because he is the Vishay. So he has to take shelter of the Ashraya. And this way, when he's taken shelter of Srimati Radhika, and especially of Gadadhar Pandit, then all these different bhavs, all these different sentiments are always entering within his heart. Because if Gadadhar Pandit himself were to speak on the Bhagavatam, then can there be any greater speaker on the Bhagavatam than Srimati Radhika herself? Can there be any greater speaker? Like we see, there are so many speakers on the Bhagavatam. There's Sridhar Swami, and then there's Sukadeva Goswami, there's Vyasadeva, Parashara Muni, Sauna Krishi, Sutta Goswami, so many. But Srimati Radhika herself, if she were to speak on the Bhagavatam, then how many newer and newer meanings would come? How many newer and newer meanings would Srimati Radhika manifest? From every syllable of the Bhagavatam, or to speak of any verse of the Bhagavatam, from any syllable there of the Bhagavatam, Radharani would manifest so many newer and newer meanings. So therefore Mahaprabhu is always there, like Tota Gopinath, listening to Gadadhar Pandit. In fact, it is said that when Gadadhar Pandit was speaking on this, when he was speaking how Krishna left all the gopis and went to Mathura, and all the gopis were in Nandagaon, Niltabkyari. When Mahaprabhu heard this separation of the gopis, it is said that he entered inside the Tota Gopinath temple and he never came back. Because he became so absorbed in thinking about these modes of separation, this Vipralama Bhav, Viraha Bhav, that Mahaprabhu, he just entered inside the Gopinath deity, did not even come back. Did not even come back. So I say Gadadhar Pandit is a very integral part of Mahaprabhu's leelas. If there was no Gadadhar Pandit, then Mahaprabhu could not have even realized why he came to this world. So here, there is this Gadadhar Ashtakam written by Sri Sarvadamodar Goswami. So here, Sarvadamodar Goswami, in this Ashtakam, he has described the essence of the Gadadhara Tattva in only this Ashtakam. Here he is saying that Swabhakti Yoga Lasinam Sada Vraje Viharinam Hari Priya Ganagragam Sachi Sutta Priyeshwaram Saradha Krishna Sevana Prakashakam Mahashayam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhu. So who is written this Ashtak? Sarup Damodar Goswami. Now you must know, Sarup Damodar Goswami is one of the foremost of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. One of the foremost, if not the foremost, maybe he is the foremost as well. He is Lalita Devi herself. So here Sarup Damodar Goswami is himself describing this Gadadhara Tattva. Why? Because Sarup Damodar Goswami is always there with Mahaprabhu in the Gambhira. He was always there by Mahaprabhu's side. In fact, Sarup Damodar Goswami was also with Mahaprabhu in Navadip Mayapur. When Mahaprabhu was a student in Gangadas Pandit's school, even Sarup Damodar was there. At that time, his name was Purushottam Acharya. So that time, he was also always with Mahaprabhu's side, like his shadow, like his right hand man. And then when Mahaprabhu took sannyas and left Navadip, went to Jagannath Puri, then even Sarup Damodar Goswami, he became mad in separation from Mahaprabhu. And you see his Tirobhav is coming. On the 20th, the day of the Rath Yatra, is the disappearance of Sarup Damodar Goswami and Shivananda Sen. So that time, Sarup Damodar Goswami, he went to Kashi and there he took sannyas. And his name became Shankararanya. And then he came and he stayed with Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, he gave him this name. He already had this name called Sarup from before. Because the Mayavadis, when they give sannyas, they give one title also. Like they gave this title to Mahaprabhu called Chaitanya. Keshava Bharati, he gave this name, Chaitanya. Similarly there, they gave him this name, Sarup. Sometimes, like the Mayavadi sannyasis, they retain their brahmachari names. So therefore, he was named Sarup and then Mahaprabhu gave him this name, Damodar. So he was always there. Any person, if he will want to submit something, if he wants to read something to Mahaprabhu, then first he will offer whatever he has written to Sarup Damodar Goswami. And then Sarup Damodar Goswami will read whatever has been written and then he will read to Mahaprabhu. Why? Because if there is any rasabhas, then Mahaprabhu will become very disturbed. What is rasabhas? Rasabhas means, and it's a mixture of rasas, an overlapping of rasas. This is called rasabhas. Means like sometimes when 2 or 3 rasas mix together, then the taste is not so flavorful. It is not so sweet. It is sometimes very bitter. And if such rasabhas, if Mahaprabhu listens to such rasabhas, then Mahaprabhu's mood might even be disturbed. Like once one person, he wrote one poem and he submitted to Sarup Damodar Goswami. There he said, Mahaprabhu, he is the moving Parabrahma. He is Chal Vigraha. And Jagannath is Achal Vigraha. Means he is Daru Brahma. Means he stays in one place when Mahaprabhu is moving everywhere. So when Sarup Damodar Goswami heard this, then he chastised that scholar. Saying, hey, what are you saying? If you would read this to Mahaprabhu, then what would Mahaprabhu think of you? You are saying that he is moving Parabrahma and Jagannath is non-moving Parabrahma. Because if any person would glorify Mahaprabhu as Bhagavan himself, Mahaprabhu would become very, very upset. So upset. Like we see in this Gundicha Mandir Marjan, one devotee, he put water on Mahaprabhu's feet and he drank that water. And Mahaprabhu became so upset. He called Sarup Damodar, come here, see what this Bhakta is doing, your Gaudiya Bhakta. And Sarup Damodar Goswami slapped him and he took him outside. And he said, good, what you did was good. You put water on Mahaprabhu's feet, you drank the water, very good. But still don't do it in front of everyone. Because Mahaprabhu, he could not bear to see anyone offering him pranams as though he was Bhagavan himself. Because in the Mayavadi line, in the monistic line, when any sannyasi sees another sannyasi, they say Namo Narayanaya. Namo Narayanaya. Means all, Narayan, I offer my pranams to you. And the other person, he says, alright Narayan, I am also offering my pranams to you. They address each other as Narayan. Because they say once you're a sannyasi, you become Brahma. So if Mahaprabhu would listen to any of this, then he closes his ears. He said, Vishnu, Vishnu, what are you saying? Don't say this. So therefore, Swarup Damodar Goswami, then what did he do? He chastised that scholar, and then he was so merciful. Not only did he chastise him, he also corrected him. He made some corrections to his Sanskrit composition, and he said, now you go read it to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu will be so happy. So then after he had Swarup Damodar's blessings, and then when he read to Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu was so happy to be blessed with him. So it says Swarup Damodar Goswami, we see that all these leelas that have been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita have come from his diary called Kadacha. Swarup Damodar Goswami, whatever he witnessed by his eyes directly, he wrote down everything in a diary and he gave it to Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami, whatever he had heard from Swarup Damodar and whatever Swarup Damodar had recorded in that diary, he gave to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And this way, whatever we know about Mahaprabhu has come from him. So Swarup Damodar Goswami were to himself describe the tattva of Gadadhar Pandit. And you can imagine how deep the tattva will be. The very name Gadadhar, what does it mean? Gadadhar. Gadadhar. Gada means what? It means the top. Gada. No, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. You see Vishnu in his four hands. In one hand he has conch. In another hand he has Chakra, Sudarshan. In another hand he has a lotus flower. In another hand he has this Gada. Gada means this club which he uses to chastise. But here actually Gadadhar means not this Gada that Vishnu is holding, not this. Here Gada means what? It means Lakuti. When Krishna goes cowherding with all the cowherd boys and cows, he has one stick in his hand. Not to beat the cows, but just to like herd the cows. No? Like if there are many cows going here and there, then what do? You use the stick to like circle all the cows. Circle all the cows. Right? Uses the lakuti. Not to circle, collect all the cows. This is called Gadha. Also, there's another meaning of Gadha. Gadha means the flute. Gadadhar means Krishna, he who is always holding the flute to his lips and is playing on the flute. This is also called Gadadhar. So similarly, this very name Gadadhar has so many Rasik explanations. So here, in this first verse, Swarup Damodar Goswami is saying, that personality who eternally wanders in Braj, while performing her own loving devotional service, Srimati Radhika herself, who is the chief of all the gopis, she has appeared as Gadadhar Pandit, as the foremost of all the beloved associates of the son of Mother Sachi. I offer my pranams to that most exalted Guru, Sri Gadadhar Pandit. You see, Gadadhar Pandit, he had so many disciples. So many. Like we see, there was this one person called Haridas Pandit. Haridas Pandit, he was the pujari in the Radha Govinda Dev temple. So Haridas Pandit, he was the one who requested Kaviraj Goswami to write Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because he said in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur has not described the sannyas leela of Mahaprabhu. He has not described Mahaprabhu's pastimes in the Gambhira. Why? It was so painful for him. How can he describe the sannyas leelas of Mahaprabhu? It's so painful, he cannot tolerate it. So he did not describe. So Haridas Pandit, he requested Kaviraj Goswami to kindly write a biography of Mahaprabhu. And Kaviraj Goswami said, all right, if this is the desire of the devotees, then I'll write this biography. So this Haridas Pandit, he was a disciple of Anantacharya. And Anantacharya was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. So the same person who requested Kaviraj Goswami to write a biography on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a grand disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. So it seemed Gadadhar Pandit himself was inspiring this grand disciple of his to request Kaviraj Goswami to write his biography. Also you see Achyutananda Prabhu, the son of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya, he had 5 sons. 3 were non-devotees and 2 were devotees. He accepted 2 and rejected the other 3. So Achyutananda was a great devotee in the line of Sri Advaita Acharya. And whose disciple was he? Gadadhar Pandit. He was disciple. Also we see Vakreshwar Pandit. Like some days before we observed this Avirbhav Tithi. Whose disciple was he? Gadadhar Pandit. You see, we have so many disciples. Even Amok. You see, Amok, he was the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Amok, although he was a Brahmin, he was also very narrow-minded. Once Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he requested Mahaprabhu to honor Mahaprasad in his house. So when Mahaprabhu came there, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya cooked so many different things for Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, why did you cook so many things for me? I'm a sannyasi, I should not eat so many things. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, oh, as Jagannath, you're eating so many things. Why do you not eat the same things here as well? So then as Mahaprabhu was about to honor the Mahaprasad, the son-in-law of Amok, he came there. So Amok, when he saw all these things, then he said, oh, just see, even a king cannot eat like this, but a sannyasi is eating so many things. In which Shastra has it been written that a sannyasi should eat so many different kinds of food? And he said, oh, that is why people take sannyas, to eat such nice kind of things. Then Amok said, alright, I'll also take sannyas things. So he started joking so much with Mahaprabhu then. So Mahaprabhu, he was laughing actually. Mahaprabhu did not become angry. He was actually smiling and laughing. So then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then what did he do? He didn't say anything. There was a fat stick there. He took that stick and he wanted to beat Amok. But Amok, he started running everywhere, here and there. Because he's very young. No, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is old, so how can you catch him? So he's running, with the stick everywhere he's running and Amok is running. And he's passing comments when he's running also. Oh, just see, how much food he's eating, he's running and he's laughing now. So then, this Amok was married to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's daughter. So then, his own mother-in-law, that is the mother of this daughter, she was saying, it would be better if my daughter become a widow. It would be better that this Amok dies. Then what happened the next day? Amok, he got this Visuchika. What is Visuchika, Maharaj? Cholera. Tuberculosis. Visuchika? Like tuberculosis. What is Visuchika? Cholera, tuberculosis. Anyway, he got some very dangerous disease. And then he was dying so much. He was dying, So then Mahaprabhu, he came and he placed his hand on his arm. He said, Amok, you are such a simple Brahmin. But why have you let this unchaste lady of envy come and dance in your heart? Now wake up and chant Harinam. And as soon as Mahaprabhu blessed him, then immediately started chanting Harinam. So the same Amok, he also took shelter of Gadadhar Pandit and he became his disciple. So there's a long list of disciples of Gadadhar Pandit. Because they all took shelter of Srimati Radhika herself. They knew. You see, even Vallabhacharya, he took shelter of Gadadhar Pandit. Like we see this Vallabhacharya, he's like one of the foremost devotees in Pushti Marg, in Vishnu Swami's line. So once Vallabhacharya, he wanted to take initiation from Gadadhar Pandit, but Mahaprabhu did not approve of it. Because Vallabhacharya, previously he had some pride. He had some pride. Because Vallabhacharya, he was such a great scholar that he defeated many Mayavadis. And whenever he would defeat any Mayavadi, they would perform Kanaka Abhishek on him. What is Kanaka Abhishek? They would bathe him in gold. They would bathe him literally in gold. Like these soft gold coins, they take it and they start bathing him in that gold. It's called Kanaka Abhishek. So many kings, they performed this Kanaka Abhishek on him because he defeated all the Mayavadis. So then Vallabhacharya, he wrote a commentary on the Bhagavatam called Subodhini. Subodhini Tika. Subodhini Tika. So he wrote this one commentary called Subodhini. So then when he came there to show to Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu said that have you written this commentary under the Anugatya of Sridhar Swami? Then he said, no, this commentary is even better than Sridhar Swami's. And Mahaprabhu said, anyone who does not accept Swami, then Sridhar Swami is like a prostitute. So Mahaprabhu chastised him. So, and then again Vallabhacharya another day, he came and he told Mahaprabhu that can you explain some meanings about Krishna's name to me? So then Mahaprabhu said, I don't know anything except that Krishna, he is Shyam Sundar and he is Tamal. He has this complexion like this Tamal tree. This Tamal Krishna and he is Shyam Sundar. Then on another day again he came and he requested Mahaprabhu, saying, why do you chant Krishna's name so loudly? In which Shastra has it been said that you must chant the name of your beloved? Because according to Vedic culture, the wife never calls her husband by her name. According to Vedic culture. Of course in the West it's different. In the West, maybe the wife is calling the husband by the name. But according to Indian Vedic culture, it is said the wife should never call him by the name. Like they use some honorific titles. Like Aap, Ji, in this way, they never call him. So then why are you calling out your beloved by your name? Then Mahaprabhu, he told Advaita Acharya to answer. Then Advaita Acharya said, if it is the order of our Prabhu to chant his names, then even if we have to address him by his name, then we are prepared to do so. Why? Because it is his order. So Madhvacharya many times he was corrected by Mahaprabhu and his associates. So when he came to Gadadhar Pandit for initiation, then Gadadhar Pandit, he gave him these mantras. And then after he gave him those mantras, because Mahaprabhu did not approve of that initiation, then Gadadhar Pandit in his heart, he felt some remorse. He felt some sadness. And he told Mahaprabhu that when I'm chanting my mantras now, I don't feel that same ecstasy, that same those same moods. Then Mahaprabhu said, because you have done something inappropriate. You have done something which you must have not done. So tell me the truth. What have you done? So he said, I gave initiation to Madhvacharya. I gave the Radha Krishna Yugal mantra. Mahaprabhu said, why did you do this then? I did not approve of it, still you gave. What is the reason? Then Mahaprabhu said, alright, now we'll have to take reinitiation now. Then Gadadhar Pandit, he told Mahaprabhu, okay, you give me reinitiation. Mahaprabhu said, no. You take reinitiation from the same Guru who has given you initiation. So who was Gadadhar Pandit's Guru? Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So then when Pundarik Vidyanidhi came, then again he took initiation from him in this way. So this way, in the next verse, Sarvdhamma Goswami is saying that Namojjaladi Bhavana Vidhana Karma Parakam Vichitra Gaura Bhakti Sindhu Rasavanga Lasinam Suraga Marga Darshakam Prajadi Vasadayakam Vajamyaham Kadadaram Supanditam Gurum. He is fully conversant with the process of manifesting the moods of Madhur Ras. He is fully absorbed in sporting in the waves of Rasa. He is the revealer of Ragmai Bhakti and the bestower of residence in Hari's holy abodes, headed by Braj. I worship at the Radha Bhakti. So here you see, he is fully conversant with Unnatruchala Madhurya Ras. You see, this is what Mahaprabhu came to give. This is his Karuna. He is Parama Karun and he is Rasik Shekhar. These are the two adjectives used to describe Mahaprabhu. He is supremely compassionate as well as being the supreme taster of all these rasas. And Gadadhar Pandit is no less. But if this was the case, then why wasn't he present in the Gambhira with Mahaprabhu? Why wasn't he there? Because we see in the Gambhira, there was mainly Sarup Damodar and Raya Ramananda, but not Gadadhar Pandit. Then one may question, if Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radhika herself, then why is he not present in the Gambhira with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It's a valid question. Because if he was present in the Gambhira, then Mahaprabhu, he would not be absorbed in Radha Bhav. He would be absorbed in Krishna Bhav. And Mahaprabhu would no longer think that he is in the mood of Srimati Radhika. Then he just think he is Vishaya Tattva, Krishna himself. It is for this reason that Mahaprabhu did not even stay in Vrindavan. Because if he would have stayed longer in Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu when he came to Braj, he only stayed here for 10 days. Not more than that, only for a few days. Because every particle of dust in Braj, what is made of every Leela Stali, pastime place, every leaf, every creeper, every blade of grass, even the most minute speck of dust in Braj will remind Mahaprabhu of Krishna Leela. And he will only become absorbed in Krishna Leela. Means, you think I'm no longer Radha Bhava Devdi Suvalitam. Now you just think I'm Krishna Swarupam. I'm only Krishna. So he did not even stay long in Braj and he left. Also there's another reason why he didn't stay long in Braj. Because of Gadadhar Pandit's separation. Because Gadadhar Pandit, he had taken Kshetra Sannyas. Because we see that when Mahaprabhu had come to this Jagannath Puri, then Gadadhar Pandit said, I don't want to go anywhere else, I just want to stay here. But when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, Gadadhar Pandit came all the way to the outskirts of Jagannath Puri. He even proceeded to Katak, which is like 30 kilometers from Puri. And Mahaprabhu said, what are you doing, Gadadhar? You made this promise of Kshetra Sannyas, and now you want to break it? Don't do like this, go back, he said. You have to. And Gadadhar Pandit, he went back with a very heavy heart. So Mahaprabhu could not stay for long in Vrindavan because of his separation. He had to go back. And you see here, it is said he supremely realized in his Unnata Cholavas. Supremely realized. This is what Mahaprabhu can do. Supremely realized in it, and he's also fully realized in this Ragmayi Bhakti. Because we see before Mahaprabhu, no one in this world ever gave Raganuga Bhakti. No one. What did Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbaditya give? They gave Bhakti, Vaikuntiya Bhakti. But they did not give this Braja Bhakti. Mahaprabhu, what did he do? He gave this Braja Bhakti with Naam. While preaching Harinam, he infused this Harinam with this Braja Bhakti Ras. This Rasa of the Brajavasi's brain. And Gadadhar Pandit, he is also the revealer of this foremost path of Ragmayi Bhakti. This Bhakti Rasa. You see, when Jayadev Goswami, he wrote the Gita Govind before Mahaprabhu, but even he had a doubt in his heart. Jayadev Goswami was thinking, how can I write Smaragarala Kandanam Mamasirasi Mandanam Dehi Padapallo Mudaram? See, how can I write this? How can I write that Krishna is falling at the feet of Srimati Radhika and he's begging for forgiveness? How can I write this? And he had doubt in his heart. Then we see Krishna himself came and he wrote that shloka. So even Jayadev Goswami could not give that Bhakti Ras. And then we see when Mahaprabhu came and his associates came, what did they write? Verum Karan Nipatitam Skalitam Shikandam Brastham Chati Tapasanam Rajarajasunu. There it said that when Krishna looks at Srimati Radhika, there it said, Brastham Chati Tapasanam Rajarajasunu. Krishna's Pitapasan means his yellow shawl falls to the ground. Verum Skalitam Shikandam. His Venu, his flute starts shaking. He cannot even hold on to the flute. It falls to the ground. His peacock feather starts falling to the ground. Tam Radhika Paricharami Kadara Sena. When can I serve the Srimati Radhika? Then when Krishna is falling to the ground, Madhumangal, he holds Krishna, saying, hey Krishna, what are you doing? Nanda and Yashoda, they're right there. Nanda is right there, Yashoda Maya is right there, and you're falling to the ground. You have no sense. And Madhumangal, he holds Krishna for behind. So who can write this except Mahaprabhu and his associates? Yasya Kadapi Vasanam Chalakela Nota. Yogindra Durugama Date Madhusudanopi. Tasya Kadar Asanide Vishwamanujayas. There it said that I'm praying to that direction which is coming from Srimati Radhika. Why? Because that direction, Dhanyati Dhanya Pavanena Kritartamani. That wind is carrying the fragrance from Srimati Radhika, not only from Srimati Radhika, but actually the wind is carrying the fragrance from the edge of her garment. Not even from her garment, not even from her cloth, but from the edge of her cloth. And that fragrance is blowing over the water of Radha Kund and it's entering into Krishna's nostrils as he's smelling this fragrance. And then he thinks, now my life is successful. And he's saying, I'm offering pranams to that direction. Rishabhanu Bhavo Disheti. Disha means the direction I'm offering pranams. So who could speak like this? Mahaprabhu himself. Like we see, there's one verse that Gurudev would always recite. It's called Shama Sundara Shikhanda Shekara Smera Hasa Murali Manohara Radhika Rasikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkari Kuru. Here, who has recited this verse? Vittalacharya, the son of Vallabhacharya. Then he said, Shama Sundara Shikhanda Shekhara Smera Hasa Murali Manohara. Oh, Shama Sundara, who has a peacock feather on his head, who has this flute on his, who's playing on his flute. What is that desire I have? So Priya Charana King Karim Kuru. Kindly make me a maid servant of your So Priya's lotus feet. Means Radharani's lotus feet. So one may question, how could Vittalacharya, who is the son of Vallabhacharya, speak such a verse? Because Vallabhacharya's followers were mainly in this Vatsalya Bhav, thinking of Krishna as their son. So where did Vittalacharya get this move? Because Vittalacharya would always associate with the 6 Goswamis, especially Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami, every day he would do parikrama of Vrindavan, Govardhan and Mathura. These 3 places. Every day he would do parikrama. So when first he would go to Mathura, there he would do Madhukari Diksha there. And when he would be in Mathura, he would go to the house of Vittalacharya. And there he would speak so much Harikatha to him. And Rupa Goswami would also go to the house of Vittalacharya. Why? Because this deity that Madhavendra Puri manifested, this Gopalji Vigraha, was previously on Giriraj. But the Goswamis would not climb on Giriraj, and neither would Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, don't place your feet on Giriraj to go see Gopal. Madhavendra Puri, he went there because Gopal is a small boy. He cannot walk on his own. So Madhavendra Puri was an exemption. Why? He was thinking, because he's such a small boy, I'll have to carry him on my shoulders. So Madhavendra Puri, anyhow, he climbed on Giriraj and he held him on his shoulders and he placed him there. But Mahaprabhu said, Madhavendra Puri is Madhavendra Puri. You cannot imitate him. So don't climb on Giriraj. But Mahaprabhu had this desire to see Gopal. So then what happened? One day the Muslims, they attacked the village. And Gopal, he came down and he stayed in a village called Katholi. So Katholi, Kat means knot. Katholi is the very place where Radha and Krishna's clothes were tied in a knot. Means they were married in that place. And Mahaprabhu had darshan of Gopal. Similarly, again they put Gopal on top of Giriraj. Now Rupa Goswami was thinking, I want to have darshan of Gopal. Gopalji. But what should I do? I cannot climb on Giriraj. Mahaprabhu's order. So then again the Muslims attacked. And then again the pujaris, they brought Gopal down and they took him to Mathura. And there's this place called Satpara. In Satpara, there in Vittalacharya's house, they established Gopal there. And Gopal stayed there for 1 month. And then he went to one place called Nathudwara in Rajasthan. Nathudwara is like 500 kilometers from very beautiful place. So there, Rupa Goswami, every day he would come and have darshan of Gopal. And he would speak Harikatha to Vittalacharya. And because Vittalacharya had all the association of such intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore he recited this verse, Shama Sundar Shikhanda Shekhara, Smera Hasamurati Mamata. So therefore we see here, this is this Ragmayi Bhakti that Mahaprabhu came to give, this Prema Bhakti Rasa. In the next verse it said, Sachi Sutangri Sara Bhakta Vrinda Vandya Gauravam Gaurabhava Chitta Padma Madhya Krishna Suvallavam Mukunda Gaura Rupinam Swabhava Dharmadayakam Vajamyaham Gadadaram Supanditam Gurum Prabhum. He is worshipped by a multitude of bhaktas who have taken exclusive shelter in the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Shri Krishna, who is splendidly situated within Gaurvari's lotus heart, which is saturated with bhav, is alone his dearmost beloved and very life. Gadadhar Pandit has bestowed upon Mukunda the nature of his own heart. In other words, Radha's loving devotion to Krishna. So here you see, Gadadhar Pandit, even before Mahaprabhu became absorbed in this like Radha Bhav, because previously Mahaprabhu was known as Nimai Pandit. Even when Mahaprabhu was absorbed in his like education, even then Gadadhar Pandit was a great devotee. So much so that if Gadadhar Pandit could ever see Mahaprabhu crossing his path, then Gadadhar Pandit, he would avoid Nimai Pandit. Because he was thinking that if Nimai Pandit and I come face to face, then Nimai, what will he do? He'll start arguing with me, he'll start debating with me on grammar, logic, and I don't have the time for all such things now. I only have time to chant Krishna's names, to speak Krishna's katha. So Gadadhar Pandit would like avoid Mahaprabhu, he'd go another way. Like, he'd go on another side of the road. And then one day Mahaprabhu, he looked at Gadadhar Pandit and he said that Gadadhar Pandit, it is only by the blessings of such great devotees such as yourself that one day I will also become a pure devotee. So you kindly bless me. Mahaprabhu told him. And then Gadadhar Pandit is half minded when he saw that. Like sometimes Mahaprabhu would be so absorbed in thinking about Krishna that he started carrying his chest open. Like, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And then Gadadhar will hold his hand. Say, why are you doing this? Krishna is there. Contain yourself. And Sachidevi, she saw Gadadhar Pandit in this way. And then she made Gadadhar promise that wherever Mahaprabhu is, you will also be there. By his side, always. You must promise this to me. And Gadadhar Pandit, he said, all right, yes. Yes, dear Mother Sachi, wherever he is, I will always be there by his side. So, in the next verse, it says, Nikunja Sevanadika Prakashanaika Karanam Salah Sakirati Pradam Maharasa Sarupakam Salashritangri Pankajam Shariri Satgurum Varam Vajamyaham Gadadaram Supanditam Gurum Prabhu. His sole purpose is to manifest the nature of Radha and Krishna's seva within the Nikunjas. So you see here, this Nibritta Nikunja seva. The service of Radha and Krishna in the Kunjas of Vrindavan is the highest seva that any jiva can possibly have. There is no greater seva than serving Radha and Krishna in the Kunjas, in the Nikunjas. This is the highest seva that any jiva can ever have. And what does Gadadhar Pandit do? He gives such Nibritta Nikunja seva to all the sadhakas. This is like the summit. This is like the essence of all of Radha and Krishna's leaders. And he gives that to all the sadhakas. He always bestows rati for the services of Srimati Radhika's Sakhis. So you see here, if anyone even wants to serve Radharani's Sakhis, like Lalita Vishakha Tanga Vidya Chitra Champakata Rangadevi Sudevi Chitra, then if they take shelter of Gadadhar Pandit, he will also give that service of her Sakhis. He is the original form of the foremost Madhur Rasa. He like personifies. He is the very murti of Madhurya Mani Prem. And as the best of Sadgurus, he always provides the protection of his lotus feet to those who take his shelter. So if anyone takes his shelter, he gives his unfailing blessing. So Mahaprabhu Maharasa Prakashanam Kuram Priyam Sada Maharasam Kura Prakashanadi Vasanam Mahaprabhu Prajanganadi Bhavamodakarakam Bhajamyaham Gadadaram Supanditam Gurum Prabhu. He is very dear to Mahaprabhu because he is the sprout of Maharas, the topmost Madhuras. At the same time, he always desires to assist the sprouting of this Maharas in the heart of Mahaprabhu. And he gives pleasure to Mahaprabhu by assisting in relishing the bhavs of the gopis. So here it said Gadadhar is the seed of this virtuous, of this Madhurya bhav that Mahaprabhu came to relish. He is like the sprout and Mahaprabhu is like the tree. So it is only by his Uddipan, it is only by Gadadhar Pandit's Uddipan that Mahaprabhu is relishing all these bhavs. So next verse is Dujendra Vrinda Vandya Pada Yukma Bhakti Vardakam Nijeshu Radhikatmata Bahu Prakashanagraham Ashesha Bhakti Shastra Shikshayojvalam Vritapradam Ajamyaham Gadadaram Supanditam Gurum Prabhu. He promotes Bhakti onto Gaudhari's lotus feet, which are always worshipped by the host of exalted Brahmins. He is eager to reveal his own form as non-different from Srimati Radhika. He bestows the nectar of Ujjwal Ras through his instructions, which are extracted from all the Bhakti Shastras. Here you see, he is always eager to reveal his form as being non-different from Srimati Radhika. But still you see, he doesn't reveal his form. What is the reason? Because if he were to reveal his form as Srimati Radhika, then the very purpose of Mahaprabhu appearing in this world would have been spoiled. Therefore, Gadadhar Pandit is always in this mood of being submissive. Dakshinya Bhav. Actually, Radharani, she is known to be in Bhaumya Bhav. She is known to be in a mood of being contrary. But still, Gadadhar Pandit, he is so submissive He is in such Dakshanya bhav that he is more submissive than even Rukmini Devi herself. Rukmini Devi is like the epitome of being submissive. She is like the ideal example of Dakshanya bhav. But Gadadhar Pandit is even more submissive than Rukmini. Why? Because as Radharani, he is the Ichha Shakti of Mahaprabhu. Ichha Shakti means what? Any desire that Krishna has, Radharani will fulfill. So if Radharani is thinking that if Krishna has this desire to appear as Mahaprabhu and to relish my moods, then I will fulfill all those desires of his. And if he desires that I should not disturb him by manifesting my form as Radhika, then I will also fulfill this desire of his. And therefore he appears Gadadhar Pandit. And Gadadhar is so submissive. Although he could have revealed his form as Radharani, he did not do so. The next verse it says, Muda Nija, this is like the second last verse. Muda Nija Priyadika Swapad Padmasi Dubir Maharasar Navamrita Pradeshta Gaura Bhaktidam Sadashta Satvikam Vitam Nijeshta Bhaktidayakam Vajamyaham Gadadaram Supanditam Gurum Prabhu. He joyfully bestows upon his dear associates the nectar of his own lotus feet, together with the nectar emanating from the great ocean of Madhura Ras in his own cherished Gaur Bhakti. He is always ornamented with the Ashtasattvic bhavs, and he awards devotion to his Ishtadev Gopinath. So Gopinath is his Ishtadev. Why? Because Mahaprabhu one day he told Gadadhar Pandit, "Oh Gadadhar, I want to give you my life and soul, my heart and soul. Will you accept it?" And Gadadhar said, "Prabhu, what are you saying? Surely I'll accept it." And Mahaprabhu with his own hands, he started taking sand out of Tota Gopinath, of this place. That place is called Chapat Parvat. Chapat Parvat means like a sand dune. A sand dune is always moving. It's always moving. It's covered like this. So Mahaprabhu, whenever he will see this place, he will be reminded of Giriraj. So in Mahaprabhu with his own hands, he started taking the sand and he formed this beautiful lady of Gopinath. Such a beautiful lady. Like if you go to the Radha Damodar temple, if you look at Radha Vrindavan Chandra, then you can get an idea of how Gopinath is. Huge lady. So then he gave this lady to Gadadhar. In Gadadhar, we see that feeling so much separation from Mahaprabhu, he could not even garland Gopinath. Could not even garland him because he became so weak. And Gopinath himself sat down to Gadadhar. Because for Radharani, Krishna is ready to stand and he's ready to sit. He's ready to do anything for Gadadhar. So he sat down and Gadadhar could garland him. This Gopinath is the life and soul of Gadadhar Pandit. It is said that if you cannot have darshan of Jagannath, if you have darshan of Gopinath, it's the same as having darshan of Jagannath also. So, Yadiya, this is the last verse. Yadiya Riti Raga Ranga Panga Tikta Manaso Naro Priyati Tunameva Narya Bhava Bhajana Tamuchalakta Chittametu Chittamatta Shatpado Bajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Guru. One who drowns in the waves of his practices of Rag Bhakti quickly attains the qualifications for the mood of the gopis, whose minds are like intoxicated bumblebees. Thus, the state of his mind will also become saturated with Ujjwal Ras. So here it is said, if one takes shelter of Gadadhar Pandit, he will surely attain the moods of the Rajagopis. Certainly, his mind will become saturated with Bhakti Ras. Then, this is the last one. Mahadasamrita pradam sada gadadharashtakam patituya subhaktito prajangana ganosavam sachitanu japada padma bhakti ratna yogitam nabed radhika gadadharamri padmasera. These 8 verses in praise of Sri Gadadhar bestow the nectar of the great Madhura Ras, which is the festival relished by the host of Rajagopis. Indeed, one who regularly recites these verses with pure devotion attains the service of the lotus feet of Gadadhar, who is non-different from Srimati Radhika herself. Through this service, he can achieve eligibility for the service of Bhakti to the lotus feet of the son of Mother Sachi. So anyone who recites this Gadadhar Ashtakam, who even thinks of this Gadadhar Ashtakam, surely he will achieve the service of Mahaprabhu himself. So tomorrow is the Tirava Tithi of Gadadhar Pandit. Also the Tirava Tithi of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So we know Bhaktivedanta Thakur has written so many beautiful books. He is like the root of this Krishna consciousness movement. Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada, he would say that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has made a prophecy, and I have come to fulfill that prophecy. And what is that prophecy? That the entire world becomes Krishna conscious. He is called Bhakti Bhagirath. As Bhakti Bhagirath, what did he do? Bhagirath Maharaj, he brought the Ganga from the spiritual world. But what did Bhaktivinoda Thakur do? He brought this Braja Bhakti Ras, Prema Bhakti Ras, this Radha Dasya from the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, as Kamala Manjari, and he's given it to the entire world. He has fulfilled this prophecy. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written one book called Bhagavad Arka Marichi Mala. This Bhagavad Arka Marichi Mala is a compilation of all the most prominent verses of the Bhagavatam. That book, Sarup Damodar Goswami himself appeared in a dream to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and ordered him that he must compile such a book. And the first verse of that book, this Janma Dasya Yataha, Sarup Damodar Goswami himself spoke the explanation to this verse, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote it down. This Bhagavad Arka Marichi Mala. And Jaiva Dharma is the last of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books. And although it is the last, it has the essence of all of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings. If you read this one book, then you can read all of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books. This book has all the Siddhanta and Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy in itself. Like if you were to take the whole ocean and place it in a jar, similarly if you take the ocean of all of Gaudiya Vaishnava's teachings, Tattva Siddhanta, and you place it in one book, that book is Jaiva Dharma. In fact, Gurudev would say that whatever you're seeing in me is the mercy of Jaiva Dharma. Because I've served this book so much, therefore the entire world is listening to my Harikatha, he would say. Because I've translated this Jaiva Dharma into Hindi. This Jaiva Dharma is such a beautiful book. Third division especially is the essence of Ujjwala Leelamani. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, anyone who reads this Jaiva Dharma will surely achieve Swarup Siddhi, will surely achieve this Siddha Pranali, if you read this Jaiva Dharma. Surely, he said, if you go deeply into the teachings of Jaiva Dharma, surely you'll have Siddha Pranali. You'll realize your Ekadash Bhav. Means in which rasa you serve Radha and Krishna. All of this can be had by reading Jaiva Dharma. He's written so many books, and each book is like a priceless jewel. So tomorrow is also its Tiruvavtiti. So tomorrow also we will listen to many of his glories from the Vaishnavas. And I'm praying on this Adivastiti at the lotus feet of Sri Gadadhar Pandit and Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We can only hope that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bless us on this path of Krishna Bhakti and help us proceed gradually and accordingly to our ultimate destination, which is service at the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika herself. So offering these figures of Pushpanjali, we are stopping. So Sri Gadadhar Pandit ki jai, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Tadiya Parikar Lind ki jai, Nanda Koti Vaishnava Lind ki jai, Shri Gurudev Pramudev Prabhu Pankaki Kurva ki jai. Idari Gaur Namo.